Fireworks is an explosive and intense program, like musical fireworks. It includes Giovanni Gabrieli's Canzon per sonare, No. 2, featuring the Phoenix Symphony Brass Section, George Frederick Handel's upbeat and vibrant royal fireworks music, Gabriela Lena Frank's Leyendas, an Andean Walkabout, and Prokofiev's effervescent First Symphony. Carlos Izcaray will conduct this program. The first piece in this concert is Giovanni Gabrieli's Canzon per sonare, No. 2. Gabrieli was born in the 1550s in Venice during the Renaissance. Musical enterprises were lavishly supported during this time, but no church was as wealthy as the Basilica of San Marco, which employed a large staff of singers and instrumentalists and had a unique architecture that allowed the performers to be separated and stationed around the venue, called cori spezzati, or spaced-out choirs. Gabrieli proved to be skilled with this type of composition, and in 1585 he auditioned and was accepted to join the Basilica's staff. A month later, he accepted an additional post as organist for the Scuola Grande di San Rocco. His Canzon per sonare No. 2 was published in 1608, while he held these two appointments as part of a collection titled Canzoni per sonare con ogni sorte di strumenti, or songs to be played with all sorts of instruments. As the name suggests, the music does not specify instrumentation. Today, this piece is mostly played by brass ensembles, but in the Venetian churches, they were normally performed by a mixed group of strings, winds, and keyboards. Next in the program is George Frederick Handel's Music for the Royal Fireworks. Handel was born in Halle, Prussia in 1685. When England and France signed the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle, which brought an end to the War of Austrian Succession, the British celebrated by commissioning stage designer Giovanni Niccolò Servandoni to create an immense wooden pavilion to be the launch pad for a fireworks display at the center of the festivities. Handel was tapped to supply the accompanying music. Since this was a royal celebration, various government officials felt free to give advice on what to compose. Some wanted more instruments, some wanted less, but Handel ultimately decided on 9 trumpets, 9 horns, a full complement of strings, 24 oboes, 12 bassoons, and 3 timpanis. All of London showed up for the celebration in Green Park in 1749, but no one seemed to immediately notice the music since the right pavilion caught fire and began burning down in the middle of the show. The next piece in the program is a modern composition by Gabriela Lena Frank called Leyendas, an Andean Walkabout, which was composed and premiered in 2001. Frank was born in 1972 in California and often explores her multicultural heritage through her compositions. Her mother was a mix of Peruvian Chinese ancestry and her father of Lithuanian Jewish descent. Many of her works incorporate poetry, mythology, and native musical styles that she studied during her extensive travels in South America. Frank currently serves as composer in residence at the Philadelphia Orchestra. In 2020, she received the prestigious Haydn Award for weaving Latin American influences into classical constructs and breaking gender, disability, and cultural barriers in classical music composition. Leyendas, an Andean Walkabout, draws inspiration from the idea of the mestizaje, where cultures can coexist without the subjugation of one by the other. This piece mixes elements from the Western classical and Andean folk music traditions. Each of the movements represents a different Andean tradition, including instruments like the panpipe and tarka, and figures like the chasqui runner and the llorona. The final piece in the program is Sergei Prokofiev's First Symphony in D major, Opus 25, also called his Classical Symphony. Prokofiev was born in 1891 in a Ukrainian village. At this time, most of Europe was preparing for the centennial of Mozart's death. Mozart was very respected by late 19th century audiences, but few of his works were performed regularly, and it would be many years before composers in training regularly studied his work. However, Prokofiev's conducting professor at the St. Petersburg Conservatory, Nikolai Cherepnin, was divergent in this regard and encouraged students to immerse themselves in the works of Haydn and Mozart to see what wisdom they could extract. Prokofiev's First Symphony was a particularly happy result because he drew on Haydn and Mozart's classical style while also taking influence from modern compositions. The year of the Classical Symphony's completion in 1917 was also the year of the Tsar's abdication, the October Revolution, and Lenin's ascent to political power.